Michael McGregor, and I'm quickly going to run through everything I did for the entire time of this project. First thing I did was dealing with these weapon power-up items. The weapon power-up items are being dealt with and created in this area. This is using the factory pattern. How this is working is game data is asking weapon power-up factory to create one of these items. The weapon power-up factory is actually creating the items, which are children of this item class. And the reason I did this was I intended for more types of items to be in the game other than the ones I created here. So I set this up as an item that they could use. These items, once they are created, they are stored in game data, and the pictures are rendered in game figure. One thing I did add from this first sprint, though, was to use Ryan's enemy flyweight items class to actually store the images. This was to reduce the stress on the system. And here's some source code to show how it's actually working. Here we can see that the weapon maker is creating this kinetic weapon random locations of an X and a Y coordinate. And here you can see inside of this weapon power factory, this is actually creating the weapon. The second half of what I've done in this first system deals with using these items that are now created. So this diagram is from an earlier demo. It's still a good representation of what's actually happening here. The player ship is the only ship that can interact with these items. So I made this interface that can be attached to the ship class that sets it up to deal with all of the item data. So the player moves about the game, and then when they pick up an item, if it's the same type of item that they already had on their ship, then it moves up to the next level of the same item. If it is a different item type, then the weapon on the ship is changed to that weapon type. And here's the logic of what's actually happening here. So it checks to see if it's the same. If it is the same, it calls this set level state, which increments it to the next level. If it's not the same, and the items are these specific weapon level up items, then it gets changed to the new item type and to the base level. The remaining part of what I did for the project entails the bullets themselves. Here's a diagram of everything that's going on. So basically here's the gist of it. Over here is basically the controllers. This holds the data. It also has the user's input that actually initiates this bullet generation system. Right here's a state pattern which sets the states and is responsible for triggering and creating these bullets. One benefit of actually using the state pattern is that it is loosely coupled with the ship, so this whole bullet generation system can be used with not only the player ships, but also by enemy ships as well. Lastly, the classes down here are all different types of bullets that I've implemented into this game. The controller side here, all the information is being stored in game data as far as bullets go. Game panels where it's being rendered at. Any information that needs to be passed to the state pattern itself, let's say if it's from the player ship, is being stored in the ship. So when the player presses a key, the key controller gets this information which is being stored in the ship and uses that to initiate the state pattern. The context, which is bullet in this case, is being set to a missile first of all, and it's also fetching the information from the ship as I showed before. So at this point it's being set to a missile state, and also in this key controller it's actually firing, which is going to call the fire from this specific missile state. So at this point context is set the right bullet state that's about to be fired. So all three of these have access to spawn shot. Spawn shot is a timer that can time when bullets actually be generated. Missile and laser state can skip the spawn shot and just create single objects as well, whereas kinetic state can only use the spawn shot. Now here's a code snippet of how some bullets are actually being fired. In this case, these are friendly bullets that are being spawned in. The bullets are new, bullet base level, and it gives the location that they are going to be spawned at and whether or not it's enemy or friendly. So it's going from here to the type of bullets that are actually being spawned in. And as I have said before, the bullets, all of these bullets are children of this bullet type, and the images are being referenced from this flyweight of Ryan's, and the bullets are being stored in these two classes here. So I'm going to spawn out a bunch of these, and as you can see as I pick more up, the types change, and I'll spawn in something else, and if I pick this up,
the bullet type change again.